Queen Camilla, once crowned with the highest honor, now steps back in a stunning fall from grace. Her royal title, once secured by Queen Elizabeth's blessing, is now silently erased. The shift is real, the timing is brutal, and the evidence lies in every revised royal document. The royal storm breaks, Camilla's sudden step back. The palace corridors haven't been this tense since the Queen's passing in September 2022. Suddenly, the woman once crowned Queen Camilla during King Charles's May 2023 coronation is stepping back from the title. Inside sources say it wasn't planned, not by King Charles at least. The timing, just over a year into his reign, stunned both the firm and the public. Was this Camilla's personal decision, or was pressure building from inside the palace? Official statements gave no real answers. They were vague, emotionless, and clearly designed to calm the storm, not explain it. But behind the scenes, whispers say Charles had no choice but to act. Camilla's public appearances had grown increasingly rare over the past 6 months, fueling speculation about her comfort in the spotlight. The title Queen Consort was supposed to be permanent. Even the late Queen Elizabeth II gave her formal blessing for it in February 2022, calling it her sincere wish. So why now? Insiders point to rising public pressure and a growing rift within royal ranks. Some say Camilla had grown exhausted by the constant expectations and public comparisons. Others believe she was guided to this decision to make room for a shift in image and power. Royal biographer Robert Lacey commented, "The crown is not just worn, it's carried. And sometimes it weighs heavier than expected. That weight may have finally pushed Camilla to lay it down, at least symbolically." And while the title might be disappearing from her public role, the implications are still very present. The monarchy is now left to answer the biggest question of all. If the Queen is gone, who is really standing beside the King? What came next was even more explosive, because Camilla wasn't just stepping back. She was being challenged from within. Palace tensions explode. Anne versus Camilla. It all came to a head at the University of London ceremony. What should have been a formal, polite event turned into a quiet battlefield between two of the monarchy's most powerful women. Princess Anne, long seen as the embodiment of royal tradition and discipline, was there to present Camilla with an honorary doctorate. But instead of warm smiles, witnesses caught a moment of frozen tension. As Camilla gestured for Anne to walk ahead, Anne hesitated, then stepped aside, letting Camilla lead. To outsiders, it looked like nothing, but for royal watchers, it was a coded message. The order of precedence in the royal family is sacred. Every step, every seat, every gesture, it all matters. And Anne's refusal to follow that script? It spoke volumes. Behind closed doors, things were far less subtle. According to palace insiders, Anne confronted Camilla directly in the reception hall. Her words weren't loud, but they were sharp. Sources claim she questioned Camilla's growing influence, and more boldly, whether she should even hold the title of queen at all. Anne, known for her 57 years of unwavering service, has always protected the integrity of the crown. She's not one for drama, which makes her decision to confront Camilla even more shocking. One insider said, "If Anne's speaking up, you know it's serious. She doesn't get involved unless something's gone too far." This wasn't just a sister-in-law clash. It was a power confrontation. Anne wasn't defending herself. She was defending the monarchy's values. From that moment, the royal household changed. Camilla's authority was no longer unchallenged, and the cracks in the royal image became impossible to hide. And just days later, something happened that proved this wasn't just personal. The crown itself, and Camilla's place in it, was being officially redefined. The crown reverses course, stripping the title. Within days of the confrontation between Princess Anne and Camilla, royal insiders noticed a subtle but undeniable shift in palace communications. Camilla, once referred to as Her Majesty the Queen, was now being listed once again as Queen Consort. On paper, it might look minor, just a small change in wording, but within the royal world, it was a symbolic earthquake. The difference between Queen Camilla and Queen Consort. Camilla is more than just language. One implies equal standing with King Charles III. The other reminds the public that she is a companion, not a sovereign. For a monarchy that runs on image, hierarchy, and perception, this was a calculated reversal. Multiple senior sources confirmed that King Charles, though deeply conflicted, approved the adjustment. And while the palace didn't issue a formal statement, royal watchers immediately picked up the pattern. Event programs, official websites, and press releases all reflected the change. The title was not removed, it was repositioned. What drove the change? Some say Charles folded under pressure, both from the public and from his own family. Others believe it was a move to preserve stability, keeping Camilla in the inner circle, but quietly lowering her public authority. As one source described it, it's the monarchy's way of correcting course, without making noise. The public response? Divided. Some called it long overdue, citing Camilla's complicated past and lingering resentment tied to Princess Diana's legacy. Others saw it as humiliating, even cruel, stripping a woman of a role she had officially taken on during a globally televised coronation just 16 months earlier. Yet, through all the noise, one truth rang clear. Camilla's title may still exist, but the power behind it had changed. And so had her place within the royal structure. And this reclassification brought back the one shadow Camilla could never outrun, the ghost of a woman who was never officially queen, but forever held the crown in people's hearts. Ghosts of Diana, a legacy that won't let go. No matter how many titles Camilla gained, she could never escape the legacy of Princess Diana. In life, Diana was adored, a figure of warmth, style, and vulnerability. In death, she became something more, an icon. And for Camilla, that legacy was always there, looming in every public appearance, every headline, every comparison. When Camilla married Charles in 2005, the palace made it clear she would never use the title Princess of Wales, a decision made out of deep respect for Diana's memory. Even in private, that title remained untouchable. It wasn't just a royal name, it was Diana's. As Camilla slowly worked her way into royal duties, public opinion softened, but it never fully warmed. Despite decades of charity work and a quieter public profile, many still saw her through one lens: the woman who came after Diana. And that sentiment only grew stronger when she was crowned queen alongside Charles in 2023. But as recent headlines prove, history isn't just written. It lingers. When Camilla's title was recently rolled back, many interpreted it as the monarchy finally acknowledging what the public had felt for years. Diana's shadow is not going away. Biographer Tina Brown once wrote, "Diana didn't just change the royal family, she changed the way we feel about it." And that emotional connection remains powerful. For many, Diana will always be the people's queen, and Camilla, no matter her role, will always be measured against her. This emotional undercurrent likely played a role in the palace's decision. By downgrading Camilla's title, they may be trying to ease long-standing tensions between the monarchy and its people. It's a delicate dance between duty, public memory, and symbolism. And just when it seemed the crown had finally moved past Diana's influence, her presence returned with force, reshaping titles, roles, and the future of those who remain. Queen Elizabeth's wish, now reversed. In February 2022, the late Queen Elizabeth II made a rare and personal announcement. As part of her Platinum Jubilee message, she expressed her sincere wish that Camilla be known as Queen Consort when Charles took the throne. It was a monumental endorsement, one that ended years of speculation and gave Camilla official acceptance at the very top of the royal hierarchy. That blessing was not given lightly. Elizabeth, known for her caution and devotion to tradition, had never previously voiced public support for Camilla's future title. Her words carried authority, and they gave Camilla legitimacy, not just within the family, but in the eyes of the public and the global press. Fast forward to late 2025, and that royal wish seems to be quietly fading. With the reappearance of Queen Consort in official usage, some insiders now suggest the palace is walking back the late Queen's blessing. No formal reversal has been declared, but the messaging is loud enough. Camilla's title is being softened, if not entirely undone. This shift puts King Charles in an uncomfortable position. Upholding his mother's final public wish would mean keeping Camilla front and center as queen, but doing so risks further backlash from royal loyalists and the public, especially after recent internal conflicts. And what does it say about continuity, about respect for Elizabeth's reign? Her word once meant everything. If the monarchy is now quietly reversing her final decision, it raises questions about the palace's stability and its willingness to protect tradition. Royal historian Hugo Vickers commented, "The monarchy lives and dies by symbolism." You don't just erase a queen's public wish without consequence. This quiet reversal has left a symbolic crack in the monarchy's image, a sign that even the late queen's voice can be sidelined under pressure. And it opens the door to a bigger question. Is this the result of a carefully crafted modern monarchy, or the beginning of royal disarray? Because what's coming next doesn't look planned, it looks chaotic. Modern monarchy or royal meltdown? From the very beginning of his reign, King Charles III spoke about creating a slimmed-down monarchy. Fewer working royals, more transparency, less pomp. It was supposed to signal a shift into modernity. But recent events suggest a different picture. Not order, but instability. The tension surrounding Camilla's role is exposing deeper fractures. Some palace sources insist that her quiet step back is part of a wider media strategy, an attempt to reduce the heat around the royal family and push focus toward William and Catherine. But others aren't so convinced. They say the situation is unraveling, not evolving. Over the past 9 months, Camilla's public appearances have declined. She's skipped events, reduced travel, and even canceled engagements at short notice. Her supporters claim it's for health and workload reasons. But behind the scenes, whispers of burnout, emotional fatigue, and even disagreements with senior royals are growing louder. Meanwhile, public trust in the monarchy continues to wobble. A recent poll in September 2025 showed a 14% drop in public confidence toward the crown, the biggest fall since Prince Andrew's scandal in 2019. Many now question whether the royal family is united at all. Historian David Starkey summed it up bluntly. What we are seeing is not a modern monarchy, it's a fragmented one. Camilla's title crisis is just the tip of the iceberg. The deeper problem? The royal family appears unsure of how to handle shifting public values. The world now demands authenticity, accountability, and humility, traits not easily preserved in centuries-old tradition. And with Camilla stepping back, Charles juggling loyalty and perception, and Anne stepping forward, the monarchy's balance is shifting faster than expected. One thing is certain: if this is Charles's version of a modern monarchy, it's not looking very modern anymore. It's looking like a meltdown in slow motion. Anne's rise, the unshakable traditionalist. While chaos swirls around the crown, one royal figure has remained calm, steady, and utterly uncompromising: Princess Anne. For over 5 decades, she has been the monarchy's most loyal workhorse, clocking in hundreds of engagements each year without complaint or controversy. But now, Anne isn't just serving. She's stepping into a powerful role she never openly asked for. After her University of London confrontation with Camilla, Anne's image shifted. No longer just the silent, dependable daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, she is now being viewed by many inside and outside the palace as the moral compass of the royal family. She didn't lash out in public. She didn't go to the press. She acted within the confines of protocol, and yet sent a clear message that tradition still matters. Anne reportedly questioned Camilla's rise to the Queen title and whether it aligned with the expectations the late Queen set for royal duty. According to a senior courtier, Anne's issue wasn't personal. It was institutional. She believes the monarchy should be earned, not handed out. And that belief is resonating. Her actions, silent yet firm, have reminded the public of what royalty used to stand for: duty, discipline, discretion. She's not flashy. She doesn't chase headlines. But in a time of uncertainty, she's becoming the royal figure that many trust most. Internally, Anne's voice now carries more weight than ever. Charles is said to rely on her input during family discussions, and William reportedly views her as a model of resilience. With Camilla pulling back, Anne is increasingly taking the lead in ceremonial roles, giving her quiet authority over the monarchy's future tone. As the title crisis unfolds, Anne's influence is rising, not by design, but by necessity. In a family divided between modern branding and ancient tradition, she stands firm in the middle, holding the line. And her silent rise begs the next question. If Camilla wasn't truly suited for the crown, was she ever meant to wear it at all? Camilla's quiet exit. Was she ever meant to be queen? Camilla's royal journey has always been complicated. From the moment she married Prince Charles in 2005, the path was filled with hesitation, compromise, and constant comparison. Unlike other royal brides, Camilla didn't enter with fanfare. She came in through the back door, under scrutiny, and always in the shadow of Princess Diana. When she finally became Queen Consort in 2023, it was seen by many as the end of a long uphill battle. But was it truly a victory? Or a role she never wanted to begin with? According to sources close to the royal household, Camilla has found the weight of the crown draining, not fulfilling. One aide revealed, she enjoys the quieter aspects, the charities, the small events. But the title? That was never what she was chasing. For over 20 years, Camilla built a steady reputation through advocacy, especially in areas like literacy, domestic abuse awareness, and animal welfare. These are not glamorous causes. They're meaningful ones, and they've shown where her heart really lies. The grandeur of state dinners, foreign tours, and public scrutiny never seemed to fit her. Not in spirit, and certainly not in comfort. Since stepping into the queen role, reports say she's felt increasingly isolated, even overwhelmed. Unlike Kate, whose public confidence continues to grow, Camilla often appeared hesitant, reserved, and even uneasy during high-profile appearances. Now, by stepping back, Camilla might finally be freeing herself, free to work on the causes that truly matter to her, free from constant comparison to royals past, free to be herself without carrying a title that was never truly hers. It's not a fall, it's a realignment. And in doing so, Camilla may be signaling a quiet truth the monarchy must face, that titles don't guarantee fit, and that sometimes walking away shows more strength than clinging on. A shift in power. William and Kate step forward. As Camilla quietly retreats, the royal spotlight is no longer scattered. It's now fully fixed on the Prince and Princess of Wales. What was once a gradual, graceful transition has now taken on a new urgency. Over the past 2 years, Prince William and Catherine have steadily grown into their future roles with precision, patience, and quiet strength. But in the wake of Camilla's public title reversal and the monarchy's wobbling public image, this shift feels less like preparation and more like a strategic transfer of power. Behind palace walls, insiders confirm that William's influence has expanded significantly. He's no longer just the heir-in-waiting. He's helping shape decisions on everything from public relations to royal patronage. Sources close to the palace reveal that William now attends more internal briefings, quietly advises senior aides, and often takes the lead on navigating difficult public issues. He is, in many ways, acting as the monarchy's frontman, not just in title, but in action. Meanwhile, Catherine's role has evolved just as powerfully. Once labeled as quiet and reserved, she has become the monarchy's most trusted and admired figure, at home and abroad. With her unwavering presence, relatable elegance, and growing portfolio of charity work, particularly in early childhood development, mental health, and family support, Catherine has carved out a public identity that commands respect without needing spectacle. Where Camilla often appeared tense or uncomfortable in the public eye, Kate radiates calm assurance. And where Camilla's acceptance was fought for and questioned, Catherine's popularity is effortless, widespread, and almost unshakable. The contrast between them, especially now that Camilla is stepping back, has become impossible to ignore. Commentators have dubbed this a soft succession, not of the throne itself, but of royal leadership and influence. The crown still rests with King Charles, but the public imagination, the media narrative, and even palace staff are increasingly revolving around William and Kate. As one senior aide put it bluntly, Charles may wear the crown, but people are already looking to William and Catherine for leadership. That leadership is visible in recent decisions. During the 2024 Together at Christmas service, both Prince Andrew and Camilla were noticeably left off the official guest list. It was explained as a matter of space and planning, but royal watchers knew better. The message was clear: William and Kate are drawing boundaries. Then came Easter 2025, where Charles was seen attending church without his eldest son and daughter-in-law. Again, no explanation was given, but the optics spoke volumes. These weren't accidents, they were statements, subtle, calculated, and royally intentional. The British public, long weary of scandals, division, and inconsistency, is responding. A YouGov poll released in August 2025 showed that 68% of Britons now see William and Catherine as the monarchy's best hope for survival, a dramatic jump from just 49% in 2022. With their clean image, consistent messaging, and steady presence, the Waleses represent stability, modernity, and relatability. all traits the monarchy desperately needs to preserve. Camilla's quiet withdrawal has created a vacuum, and William and Kate are filling it, not with noise, but with presence. There is no grand speech, no dramatic announcement, just deliberate steps forward, public appearances, charitable work, family unity, all captured, all noticed. This isn't the monarchy of yesterday. This is the foundation of what's next. But with this shift comes even bigger questions. What happens to the crown itself when influence and image are no longer tied to who wears it? And can the institution survive a quiet division between king and heir, between tradition and progress, between the old world and the new? Those questions are no longer theoretical. They are happening now, and the monarchy must find its answers before the cracks turn into collapse. A crown in crisis. What happens next? Camilla's retreat marks more than a personal shift. It signals a seismic fracture in the monarchy's foundation. Behind the ornate gates and ceremonial appearances, a quiet crisis is unfolding. Power is shifting, unity is faltering, and the public is watching it all, moment by moment. The monarchy, once defined by stability, now finds itself pulled between two visions. King Charles, holding tightly to legacy and personal loyalty, versus Prince William, laser-focused on credibility, modern values, and public trust. The tension is subtle, but undeniable. Sources say Charles is increasingly isolated, relying on a shrinking circle of advisors. William, meanwhile, has formed his own team, younger, media-savvy, and deeply attuned to public sentiment. The distance between the two camps grows daily, and Camilla's title crisis has only deepened the divide. For Camilla, her next steps remain uncertain. Will she fade into the background like the Duchess of Kent, focusing on private charity work? Or will she re-emerge in a new role, without the title but with behind-the-scenes influence? Either way, her formal authority has collapsed, and in its place, questions now swirl. Who truly holds power in the palace? What happens when tradition and modernity can no longer coexist? And how much longer can the monarchy walk this tightrope before something or someone falls? As royal historian Dr. Sarah Gristwood noted, this isn't just a change of titles. It's the start of a reckoning, and that reckoning is now impossible to ignore. The crown, once firm and immovable, is shifting, not from outside attacks, but from the quiet cracks forming within its own walls. This isn't just Camilla's goodbye. It may be the end of an entire chapter of monarchy as we know it. Camilla's quiet retreat marks more than just a title change. It signals the end of a long, controversial chapter in royal history. As power shifts toward William and Catherine, and Queen Elizabeth's legacy is reinterpreted, one thing is clear: the monarchy is changing before our eyes. Whether this is evolution or erosion depends on what comes next. But for Camilla, the verdict is in, and history has spoken. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royal truth, power plays, and dramatic turns from behind palace walls. The next chapter is already being written.